Welcome to Cloud Infrastructure Services YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to be comparing Magento versus WordPress and what is much more suitable for you if you're going to start an e-commerce store. So let's start with what is Magento. So what is Magento? So basically, Magento was released in 2008 and ever since then it has gained tremendous popularity for its sturdy stability, high customizability and robust built-in features. Now this was an open source platform which has been developed by the software giant Adobe. Now if you're watching this video about Magento versus WordPress, then we expect that you know what Magento is, so that is why we're not going to dive in detail about Magento. We're just going to go over the cons and pros of Magento. Starting off with the pros of using Magento. So at first we have a modular design. Well, Magento constitutes several features designed to grow your business. Its modular design makes handling both bigger and smaller shops possible. And with the help of different customizable APIs, the modular design is even more prominent. And then we have something as web development platform. Well, both Magento and WordPress are web development platforms with an option to simply drag and drop your website. Still, Magento is an easy to use web development platform when it comes to new users. And then we have additional capabilities. Well, when it comes to WordPress, you need to use some plugins so that your e-commerce store is up and functioning. When it comes to Magento, you have additional capabilities and its outstanding assortment of these additional capabilities makes e-commerce plugins non-essential. However, you can still use them if you want. Now if we talk about some of the drawbacks of Magento, then at first we have that you need to learn it first. Well, you have to learn about this platform before commencing this business as a solo entrepreneur. You need to have some sort of web development background to actually get the most out of Magento. And then we have pricing. Well, Magento is very costly as compared to WordPress. So only huge organizations with dedicated web design and coding teams can use this platform or which are optimal to use this platform. And then there is something that is really irritating to the new users, and that is the lack of spam monitoring. Well, Magento is not well monitored, resulting in inadequate technical assistance through which you get a lot of spams, and those spams went totally unmonitored. Well, if we talk about the features of Magento or the features of WordPress, then this video would become very long because the list of features of both of these platforms is very long. So if we just look over to the screen, you can see only a tiny bit of features that come with Magento, not to mention that you get even more features with WordPress. So we have catalog management, order management, search engine optimization, advertising and marketing, analytics and reporting, user management and so much more. So that is why we are not going to head inside the features of Magento versus the features of WordPress. Anyways, let's talk about WordPress. So let's start off with what is WordPress. Well, WordPress is another open source hosting platform that is written in purely PHP. Well, it was originally developed in 2003 and its sole purpose was to be a blogging platform. Well, later on it immediately evolved into a top choice when it comes to creating a new website. Well, it is so popular that a total of 43% of the entire internet is based on WordPress. So let's talk about the pros of WordPress. Well, WordPress is amazing when it comes to creating a content management system. It has a very sturdy CMS system. With the help of plugins like WooCommerce, you can easily set up a content management setup with the e-commerce store. So that also brings us to the second point, which is that WordPress is great or good for e-commerce. Like I've mentioned in the previous step, that its plugin WooCommerce is flexible and expandable and is really great when it comes to creating an e-commerce store. And then with WordPress you get a lot of SEO plugins. Well, these SEO plugins can really help you optimize the SEO of your WordPress website so that it ranks higher and gets more views and more sales. So that is why e-commerce is well suited with WordPress. Well, let's also talk about some of the cons of using WordPress. Well, most of the plugins and features that you get with WordPress are free, but they have a catch that they only have a few of the features unlocked. To unlock the entire package, you need to buy the premium features. So that is why you need to pay for sophisticated features and subscriptions, thus making it more expensive than its competitors. And then you need to have some kind of knowledge about development, because most of the time when you use plugins, your WordPress website contains a lot of junky or bloatware code. And this is also our point number 3 when it comes to cons of WordPress, which is that it contains a lot of unnecessary code. Like, even if you don't talk about the plugins, even themes contain a lot of unnecessary generic code. Now, this decreases the speed of the site and causes slow load time. So you really need to avoid those when you're trying to build a top tier e-commerce store. So enough of pros and cons, so let's just put them against each other, Magento versus WordPress, and let's compare the differences of Magento versus WordPress. So let's start off with the ease of use. Now, as an open source system, both Magento and WordPress are free to use. The packages do not include any customer service, which means that you really have to rely on the online forums or the self-help material to get you through any problem that you might encounter. When it comes to ease of use, WordPress is considered the better option because it has a larger and more active community than compared to WordPress. So that is why when you need to go through the problems with the help of community-based questions and forums, then WordPress takes the upper hand. Well, that does not mean that Magento lacks in this department. It's only that it is not as much as adequate as WordPress. Next up, we have e-commerce. Well, when it comes to creating an e-commerce store, none of the platforms take the upper hand because it all depends upon the needs of the user. So if the user is looking to build a medium to large scale store, then Magento is the best for that particular user. And if the user is trying to build a small store which does not need to have a mobile interface, then WordPress is the way to go for that particular user. So really, no one takes the upper hand when it comes to e-commerce. Next up, we have the support for marketing and content management. Well, when it comes to marketing and content management, most of the developers prefer WordPress over Magento. And the reason is very simple, that WordPress was made as a blogging platform. That means that it was made to be a content management system. With the addition of plugins, it became an e-commerce WordPress store. Well, with Magento, you need to have custom extensions to support blogging and to create a content management system. So that is why in this department, WordPress takes the lead. Next up on the list is actually theme and design customization. If we talk about Magento, then Magento comes with 2 default themes. Other than that, you can get multiple templates from the Magento marketplace. Well, the templates that you get from the marketplace of Magento are far lesser as compared to the themes that you get from the WordPress plugin store. So on the WordPress store, you get more than 4700 plus themes. And the thing about themes is that with WordPress, you get themes with a lot of unnecessary generic code. So that is why we cannot put WordPress way ahead of Magento, but still, if we talk about only theme and only design customization, WordPress is the one to go for. Next up, we have the search engine optimization. When it comes to SEO, you can entirely and completely rely on WordPress instead of Magento. Now, although both of the platforms support SEO features like sitemap, metadata and so much more, but WordPress has an inherent advantage that it contains sturdy SEO plugins like Yoast and makes the process of adding keyword-rich content like blog post very easy. And the last one on our list is the pricing. Well, if we talk about the default pricing, then Magento is much more expensive than WordPress, and the reason is that WordPress is entirely free to download and free to use. But if we talk about customization and adding plugins and features, in that WordPress takes a toll. So the thing is that with WordPress, you can get a basic theme starting from $30. You can get themes for free as well, but premium themes start from $30. And if we talk about the premium features, then they range from $0 to $1,000. So really, the pricing is up to you if you want premium features or if you want to just create a store with as less plugins as possible. So which is the clear winner? Well, it entirely depends upon the user that is going to create that e-commerce store. If the user is a web developer, then you should go for Magento. And if the user is a solo entrepreneur, then you should always go for WordPress. And if you want to deploy either of these platforms, may it be Magento or may it be WordPress on the cloud, on Azure, AWS and Google Cloud, then make sure to check out the tutorials to do so in our channel, and the links to deploy those images would be in the description box. So if you have learned anything new in this video, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel.